All right, it's time for everybody's favorite part of the show, listener submissions. Brought to you by Nabisco. I don't know why I said that. There's no sponsorship on the show. We lose money.
Hey, I'm a sponsor.
Oh, we do. There is
True.
sponsor. Brought to you
Sponsored by Danny.
AITA for denying my SIL, which is sister-in-law. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Sister-in-law's request. Don't give me those eyes like I'm an idiot, Sarah. For denying my sister-in-law's request to get my family flu shots before visiting her 1-year-old.
I love this one.
Yeah. Oh,
Can't
boy.
believe
I'm
this one.
so excited.
My husband and I will be visiting family for Thanksgiving, along with our 2 children, ages 11 and 13. My sister-in-law just had her first child at age 40, and he will be turning 1 the week we are visiting. We are not staying with them and will only see them on Thanksgiving at my in-laws. My sister-in-law sent a text to her brother, my hubs. My husband is what hubs means?
Yeah.
Yes.
My hubs.
It's an abbrev.
I know.
It's
He's
okay.
so
Continue
confused by
on.
these. Danny loves to make up abbreviations, but he gets confused
like
when other people
hubs.
do it.
Well, that's like saying with. Like, it doesn't really go. You're like, wife?
Wife
With.
is
I've heard
shorter.
hubs like
Okay.
hubby,
Hubby, yeah.
and then you
right.
just go to hubs.
My sister-in-law sent a text to her brother, my hubs, requesting that we all get flu shots before our visit to protect her child. We both feel her request is preposterous. My children are vaccinated, and we are a healthy family, but we just don't believe in the flu shot. I understand that the flu can attack anyone, and I would never put anyone in a situation to pass something along if we were feeling under the weather. I understand that she's a new mom and trying to protect her child, but I don't think I should have to inject my family with something I don't feel they need. The flu shot last year was proven only 25% effective, but mostly I just feel her request is inappropriate. AITA for ignoring her request.
Wow. I don't even.
So my opinion has changed
Ooh.
since I wrote
Wow.
about this on the Facebook group because apparently the science has changed. So it
Okay.
used to be that because the flu shot is developed every year, unlike vaccines that are, like used again and again.
Yeah.
We have tons of science on it. Some doctors said, like, if you're perfectly healthy and you're not going to be exposed to, like, people who are particularly vulnerable, you're not in the healthcare profession, you don't need to get the flu shot.
But a 1-week-old baby is particularly vulnerable, wouldn't you say?
Yes, a 1-week-old baby is particularly vulnerable, but it would be up to you whether you care enough to, like, have that interaction on that one day to do it, right? Like, their family doesn't have an infant. It would be this one interaction. So, like,
Right.
it would be their choice. But science has developed. And so now, like, the saying is everyone should just get the flu shot. We're good enough at this. Like, there really isn't a risk. If you're perfectly healthy, no matter what you do, no matter what your exposure will be, get the flu shot.
Yeah. I mean, I got my flu shot yesterday. Like,
Oh,
I don't know.
really?
Yeah.
I turned it down at the hospital.
Well, you shouldn't have gotten it because you were about to get surgery. Like,
Yeah. Oh, that's true.
Okay. Yeah, this is a nuanced one. I'm kind of happy we're on like vaccines that aren't so like polarizing. This is kind of a subtle
This is
one.
this is a very different type of vaccine.
I mean, it's like you're not the asshole for not getting a flu shot one year. Like, this is the first time I've gotten one in recent memory.
Yeah.
But but she's specifically asking for you to hang out with her 1-week-old baby to get the flu shot. It's like non-invasive. It's free. Like, why would you not?
I would say it is invasive, isn't it?
No, it took 1
What's
second.
considered invasive?
I would
mean,
say
it's like
invasive.
a shot. You
It's
don't
it's
have
a
to.
shot.
They don't have to get it into your veins. It's just in your arm. Like, it's in your muscle. It's not.
Oh, it's in
It's-
your muscle?
Yeah.
It's a shot, and it's a shot that can have adverse consequences. Like, I'm planning to get the flu shot, but I'm going to get it on like a Friday so that it doesn't interrupt my work week. I think that, you can say it's somewhat invasive, but I think you can also say, like, this person has a baby, like an
Yeah.
infant, and you're going to spend time together. And the science is now saying that, like, everyone should get this regardless. So go ahead and sign your family up. Go on a Friday afternoon and
Like,
that's it. Or
it's
like do it in a
free.
rotation so that you and your husband don't feel like slightly under weather at the same time. But like,
Yeah,
she
but
also give
that's
you a
also
huge heads
not
up.
guaranteed to happen. You might
Yeah.
feel flu-like symptoms, but most people don't, and usually your arm just hurts. And also, even if you feel the symptoms, you don't actually get the flu. Anyways,
So I think there's going to be some disagreement on the reality of this. Though I feel like what you're saying sounds very valid to me, Danny. But I think another kind of question here, which is more etiquette driven, which is this request inappropriate? And that just
No.
seems flat wrong.
I don't think it's inappropriate at all. You think it's wrong?
Yeah, no, I don't think it's inappropriate at all. It's like it's a baby. You got to be concerned about the baby's health because babies die. So it's so
This
easy
is
to
literally,
kill a
yeah, this
baby.
is the point of vaccines. It's herd immunity. Like, a 1-week-old baby is like exactly half the population these are made for.
Also,
one
this is-
1 year old, not 1 week old.
Oh, turning 1 the week.
Still,
okay,
that's
fine.
still
1.
like an.
still,
I mean,
yeah.
One.
I
The
kept fucking
sister-in-law
that
like
up. That's
did
funny.
this in a pretty reasonable way, right? Like the sister-in-law probably went to a doctor's appointment and they were like, "Hey, like you should think about does your family have the flu shot before like the holidays, right? Because like you're gonna spend a bunch of time together. Like you should make sure that that happens." And then she shot a text over to her brother. She didn't like get her mother right. They're going to the mother-in-law's house. She didn't get like the mother-in-law to say like you're barred from coming in unless you have the flu shot. Like
yeah.
she just shot a text over and was like, "Hey, it would be great if you could do this because like that's what it is advisable
To protect her child. Yeah.
for my child and my child's health."
Myrna F writes, YTA, the flu can kill her child and even 25% is more effective than 0. Go F yourself for putting a brand new baby in danger.
A
for no
brand
reason.
new baby.
That's kind of a
Brand
weird
new.
A
concept.
bright and shiny baby. It
We
has
just
that new
bought
car
it.
smell.
Yeah, we just
Oh,
bought
you
it from the
killed
store.
a 3-year-old? Well, it wasn't brand new, so who
Yeah,
gives a
right?
shit? A brand new baby. Be careful. Andrea P writes, NTA, I'm assuming she takes her baby in public. Is she screening anyone who comes near her or her kid? Probably not. She's a dick.
Okay, but see that literally, that's the entire point of herd immunity. It's like, yes, you can't control every random person you come into public with. You can attempt to try to control like your immediate family.
Right. And I also believe, like, short of hellscape nightmare cities like New York, you're not necessarily going to engage with like hundreds of people at close proximity just because you have a baby.
That's kind of true, yeah.
Right. Like if you live in freaking Little Rock, Arkansas, having 4 people run around your house, breathe all the same air,
Right.
like, there's far more a chance of transmission than
Even if you live in like Atlanta, you're probably just like you're driving to the grocery store. All right,
Also,
you're
this
driving
person-
to the doctor. Okay.
Exactly.
You're not in like fucking Times Square with your 1-year-old baby.
Right.
This person also like, do they want her to be a bigger asshole? Like, do they want her to try to control every person around her? Like,
Right.
she's just trying to control the people that she like feasibly can, right? Like, she can exert a little bit of influence with her brother.
Exactly.
She can't like make every person she interacts with get a flu shot.
Right,
So
but
like
that's
she's
the
doing
whole-
what she
yeah.
can to protect her child. Like,
Exactly.
within reason. This feels like within reason.
And that's the whole point of these vaccines is like you just hope that enough people have it that you're going to not have to come into contact with this. Also, I feel like the anti-vaxxers kind of came out in this thread.
Oh boy.
Don't you think? I feel like this
Yeah.
person is an anti-vaxxer.
Little anti-vaxxy. Mariana G writes, nope, NTA, your body, you're right.
I'm so tired of seeing you guys fucking bastardize a phrase that we use to like talk about women's reproductive rights for like every dumbass thing.
Oh my God.
I'm so tired. I see it all the time.
I've never seen you this angry.
Yeah, I'm so tired of it. Like I see it all the time. It's like people just use it to apply to like random ass things, and it's like yes,
That's
it's your
so
body
true.
and it is your right, and that's true. But that's not the question here, because when you think about it, if the sister-in-law asked everybody to get a flu shot and you're just not going to do it,
Madness.
really the question is, would I be the asshole for lying to my sister, putting her baby in danger just because I didn't want to get a flu shot? And it's like yes,
Right.
even if it is your body and your right, that's not the issue at all.
Right.
I'm out.
I mean, yeah, I'm really leaning a certain way with this. You got really mad, Sarah, and wrote, I'm tired of this effing argument. Let's go off.
Well, that was what I just did with the your body, your right.
Oh, I see. It felt very natural. But you were angry when you were writing this, clearly.
Yeah, I told you.
Lindsay N writes, YTA, it's a reasonable request when a new baby can't get them. And just because you might not feel ill, it doesn't mean you can't still pass things on, even if it's not likely. Herd immunity is so important. I work with children and have a new nephew, and certainly wouldn't take any chances. You're well within your right to not believe in or get flu shots, but also within her right to deny you access to her child because of that.
Right. That's the question. It's like, okay, you're going to ignore the request, but you're not going to probably tell the sister, and you're not going to not go to Thanksgiving. So you're going to lie, and that's fucked up.
What if she doesn't lie, though? Is that really lying?
So if she tells
omits?
her and she's like, I'm not getting the flu shot, then the sister can be like, all right, well, you're not going to be able to hang out with the baby, and that's fine, I guess. But it doesn't seem like this person is going to like make any sort of allowances. It seems they're just like, no, I'm just going to do what I want.
It seems like the disagreement, too, because it's sort of like she's acting like this is an affront. And I really think that's because, like, I like to cut the facts out as much as possible with vaccines. It's like, fine. Well, no, look, obviously, I am pro-vaccine. I do believe Earth is flat, but I believe that vaccines are good, etc. But, like, look, you are entitled. If you're a kook and you read kooky Tumblr blogs and you think vaccines cause autism, you're allowed to do that. that doesn't mean that you can blatantly disrespect someone who does believe in vaccines. Like if
Right.
that's how we're really going to put it. And it's like, just respect this. And I think that's what she's most wrong about, that this request is inappropriate. It just seems like the most appropriate kind of request.
Right.
It was such a mild request. It was so mildly put. I mean, it's just not a big inconvenience. Like, it just feels like a perfectly reasonable request. Can this person respond by not doing it? Sure. Like, she can not do it.
Absolutely. Then
And,
she
like,
should not go to Thanksgiving or whatever. it may
Exactly.
be.
That's what I'm saying. It's like she's going to ignore the request, but also still attempt to like do all the family stuff. And it's like, that's wrong.
That is wrong. That is wrong. Because it's basically, the request is basically saying, like, look, this is important to me. I believe this is a viable threat. To not even address it is just disrespectful.
She also
Yeah.
didn't even throw a sentence in there about why she doesn't believe in the flu shot, right? Like, and she has 2 children. Like,
Yeah.
she's been going to the doctor recently. Like, her doctor, I'm sure, has told her about the flu shot. Like, she didn't even offer up any reason why she does not believe. Like, it is this
She
isn't
just said,
God.
'cause
This
it's-
isn't about, like, do you believe that there's a man looking down on you from the sky? This is like,
right.
there are these there's evidence, and like, do you disagree with the evidence and why? Like,
I guess I got it. I don't know. I'm also kind of skeptical. I'm like, are you actually vaccinated if you don't believe in the flu shot? It's not Santa Claus. What do you mean?
well, they're distinct. Like where I started.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
the science is different because the flu shot is being developed every year. But still, like I said, she has 2 kids, so I'm sure she's going to the doctor every year, unlike me that I haven't been in like 3 years. So, like, she's hearing the latest updates,
Right.
and I'm sure the latest advice she's gotten from her doctor, because this is the latest in the standard of care, is like, no matter who you are, you should be getting the flu shot.
Right. That's the thing that I don't get, because I've seriously never heard of anything other than that.
There
For the
was
past,
some
like-
disagreement in the scientific
Well, but
community
Sarah,
because
you're saying that, but you just said that you didn't get the flu shot last
The
year.
reason is because I was paranoid about feeling the flu-like symptoms, and I would admit that.
Yeah.
I didn't want to feel like possibly sniffly, possibly like I had
Right.
flu
and you
for
weren't
a
hanging
few
out with an
days,
infant.
and I wasn't hanging out with an infant. But like, I don't not believe in the flu shot. I'm just like a baby and didn't want to potentially deal with like very short-term adverse consequences.
Which is where the science used to be. It was like, for most healthy people who aren't hanging out with babies or old people, like, it's not worth the risk that you are going to feel bad because you're very unlikely to get the flu. But now,
right,
like, we reached a point
and
where,
it
like,
wouldn't
hey,
kill me.
yeah, like, hey, everyone, like, just do it. Like, it's actually just better for
Right.
the population
Right.
as a whole.
But if I
you just
was
get the
gonna
flu
hang
shot.
out with babies, or I worked with children or whatever, like I would get the flu shot. Or I was gonna hang out with elderly people, I would get it.
Right.
And if it was your job, I'm pretty sure you're like legally required to
Right,
get
right.
it.
I
So,
guess that's a
like,
separate issue. But like, again,
separate
if
issue,
I,
but
if I
shows
was
to the
hanging out with
extent
people
that,
who
like,
were like
people agree.
immunocompromised, then I would get it. But
I like the idea that you're just like, I gotta go, guys. I'm gonna go hang out with some elderly.
I mean, like
people."
all my grandparents are
ones?
dead, so like,
Yeah,
who else
ju-
would I hang
yeah,
out with?
Just some elderly
Yeah.
people. They're just old and shit. How'd
Yeah.
you find them, Sarah? Don't ask any more.
Sarah's going to
questions.
print out some memes and she's going to take them
Yeah.
over, walk them through the joke.
and explain it. Oh my god, that'd be so good.
All right, I think we agree on this. AITA for denying my sister-in-law's request to get my family flu shots before visiting her 1-year-old. Well, actually, so the wording here is a little bit snippy because she's not an asshole for denying the request.
Yeah, you're an asshole for like trying to hang out with the 1-year-old anyway.
Yeah. Well put. Perfectly put. So,
So everyone's just the asshole on this app.
Is a sister-in-law the asshole for asking her relatives to get the flu shot?
no. So we would say this is why what
You would be the asshole, I think, is
Yeah.
the proper verdict.
YWBTA because you're
It
trying
sucks.
to hang out.
But yeah,
All right, guys. Well, is there anything else, Danny? Do you want to tell us about any lawyer assholes that you encounter? Any, or you could come out. You know, the audience hates me. You should talk shit about me. They would love that.
yeah, true.
No, you just had surgery. You poor thing. You're recovering. I'm not going to attack you, but every lawyer's an asshole. That's just like the nature of the game.
Heh.
Why don't you tell the story of what happened on your birthday a couple years ago?
No, you want to tell that story?
Yeah, tell it. We can always cut it if
Sounds
it's too
great.
bad.
Let's do it.
Sarah, have you heard the story?
I don't think so.
Okay, so Danny and I had been dating for like maybe a year already. It's my birthday. It's my 26th birthday, I
Sure.
think. He comes to Boston. He's visiting. I have the next week the biggest like week of my life. It's all of my like recruiting for law jobs after I graduate from law school. And it's my birthday, and I don't think Danny wanted to surprise me with the whole plan. So he comes into town. He's now in Boston. We get in a car. We're driving someplace. I don't know where. This is all like unknown to me. And I can tell that he's just like, not a happy boy. And I'm like, what's going on? Like, why aren't you happy? And he doesn't really say anything. And, you know, we kind of go through the day and I can just tell that he's like not there. Finally, we get home, we're hanging out, and he like breaks down and looks like
Oh.
he's about to cry. And I'm like, what's
Uh-oh.
happening? And he's like, I just don't know if I love you anymore.
What?
Oh boy.
Yeah.
On her birthday?
On my birthday. Couldn't hold it in.
Oh,
Couldn't hold it
shit.
in. And
Well,
he-
I did try to hold it in, and then I started crying. And
Yeah.
I was like, well, you got to explain that. You're a grown man crying.
Oh my God.
So yeah, so he's like, I just don't know if I love you anymore. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna need some information here.
Yeah, why?
And at some point the quote just, I don't know if I'm attracted to you anymore gets dropped.
Oof.
And like our whole kind of like way of hanging was to ease. So like I
speechless.
had gained weight over the course of our relationship, but so had he.
Mhm.
I was, you know, like
Yep.
not looking my best, but I wasn't like a monster. And yeah, he was just like, essentially was just like, you're fat. And then he was like,
Oh boy.
okay, so the next part of your surprise starts at this time and we need to leave now. And I was like, what? The
What?
Like,
Yeah.
what? What are you talking about?
Oh, this is like worse timing than this guy's proposal.
Yeah. And so we like get in a car and start driving. I'm like, so this whole time we're driving, I'm like crying, he's crying, we're like talking through his emotions. And I was like, well, being fat is a very solvable problem. Is like that the only thing that's going on here?
Yeah.
And like we're talking
Right.
through this. We get to where we're going. He's like, we're doing a sunrise helicopter tour of Boston or sunset.
Oh, that's
So
nice.
we're getting on a helicopter and like we're like angry and upset and emotional. Then we get on the helicopter. We're in the helicopter. It's Boston at sunset. It's beautiful. Everything's fine. We're happy. We're laughing. You see pictures from that moment and it's like super happy. And then we land and then
Wow.
it's immediately back to like we're breaking up.
Oh, wow.
We go to dinner with my best friend and you know that's super awkward. And then he just leaves, right? You leave that night.
Back to New York.
Oh my God.
Leaves back to New York. And I just like am dying. And I'm like, cool, I'm getting interviewed for literally, I'm like, I have 35 interviews next week. And I am in bed, like not able to move, crying. Yeah, that's pretty much the whole story. And then we got back together, you know?
Wow.
Yeah, so
Huh?
hate me, people. I deserve. Well, so I mean, the sort of
That's
background is
Epically bad timing.
because it really felt like a virus. Like I got a virus when I felt all
Oh
these
yeah, I
feelings.
forgot
and
what
the sort
the
of
background
the
is.
sort of reason all this happened is that this girl I grew up with, like literally grew up with, like from being a child,
Yeah.
came to New York, and I had like spent a whole day with her. And I wasn't consciously even thinking about her, but I think I was kind of going, and she had just moved to New York. And so I think I was kind of going through this fantasy of a life with her. I wasn't consciously doing it, but I think my brain, who literally stared at this girl for, I don't know, 20 years, was like, oh, we're going to switch to that train. And it's like, there was no reality there. So I called my dad, and he's like, oh, yeah, no, it was definitely her. That's definitely why you're feeling this way. Because my dad's a psychologist.
So he literally got to New York and then
Yeah.
got back on a bus to come back to Boston. Like it was like less than like a few hours of him
Yep.
like being in New York with us broken up before he came back and apologized.
Yeah.
But it was just, you know, it took a
Wow.
long time to move forward. From
I was
that
going to say, I'm
incident.
impressed that you guys did move forward from that.
I apologize pretty much every day for months. I would say 2 months. Just
Wow.
and took a lot of working through it, but we did.
I'm glad you guys did.
I feel like the story was not very good, but
I also
it's just-
I honestly got to give you props for going back to Boston. Fuck that place.
Brutal.
Why is it so far from New York? It takes 5 hours any way you
Why is
slice
so
it.
far from New York?
It's awful. It takes 5 hours any way you slice it. I took an Amtrak. Why was this shit 5 hours? Like
It's crazy. I'll tell
literally.
you one time and one time only out of probably 50 at least bus rides.
Yeah.
The bus took 3 hours and 40 minutes. And I was
What?
like, what the fuck just happened?
That's how long it really takes. But then somehow it takes double that time, and you're like,
well, it's because of New York.
Every-
like, as we did on Boston, it's
even
New
the
York.
It's true.
Amtrak.
Yeah, I don't know.
Amtrak took 5 hours. I'm
I
like,
think-
oh, great.
Every road on the eastern seaboard, every road, every train track, every runway is currently being repaired.
Right?
That's just
yeah,
how it
at
is.
any hour of the day or night, like driving to Cape Cod, again, should be a 4-hour drive
Yep.
that takes 6 to 7 hours.
I don't know. My work now has me doing recruiting in Boston, and like
Oof, I'm
when
sorry.
someone else is paying for your Uber and someone else is paying for your flight, and your Uber there. Like, it wasn't that bad. It was like 3 hours.
The flight?
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing because you fly to Boston, but then you have to spend 2 hours in the airport. You're in the air for 45
you
minutes.
you take the little shuttle, and the little shuttle, you don't have to get there an hour and a half ahead of time. And if you are able to Uber there and back, like, it's a super crazy way to spend money, right?
It's
like,
crazy.
it ends up costing like $500 to
Right.
get to some place that like you could take a $25 bus to. But
Yeah.
if you're not paying for it, then it's a reasonable way to get to Boston.
Or I'm just
Fortunately-
going to never go to Boston again.
Well, Danny's
That's
friends
good.
listen to the podcast, so at least we know one other big shot lawyer who goes to Boston on a freaking flight will relate to
Right.
that.
It's like, would I fly to Ithaca? No. It seems irresponsible.
I fly to Brooklyn, okay, people?
Pretty much.
Which is weird because the airport's in Brooklyn. All right, guys. Well, I think that's the ep, Sarah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Danny. Thank you for joining me.
Thank
you for
you.
being my girlfriend. Thank you for
Aw.
caring for me while I have appendicitis.
Aw.
Guys, we will see you next Monday morning.
Yep.